Hello and welcome to the Villa Fan Zone. I've just been distracted by a comment from Dan Bardell, which I am absolutely reading in a second. Our most loyal viewer, John. Before we even go live, he's here commenting. We're just rent free, aren't
we? Yeah, absolutely. And there's been a goal in the Wrexham game. Chris Kamara.
Ooh.
It's 1-0 Wrexham against Blues.
Okay.
My group chat's been lighting up. We won't be given up to date takings from that game at all. They'll probably go on and win now. But anyway. As you were.
Yeah, well, we can mention it if Wrexham win, why not? We're here today to preview Burnley in our new Fan Zone show, where the whole show is guided by your comments, opinions, predictions, etc. We've got the mailbag in use. Jazzy little intro. Bardell loves it. He absolutely loves it. It was a jazzy little intro indeed. We're going to go through them. Each talking point has a little header. John, I'm going to throw over to you to start us off and pick one at random. But before we do that, last week's show was very heavily weighted towards Bologna because we finally won a game. Obviously, today's show comes after Feyenoord as well. However, we're going to try and focus on that as less than we did for Bologna last week. So there's no questions specifically to start us off. But you just want to talk through a little bit. The one thing I want to ask really is not about the game. Tell me about Nigel, Spink and Kenny Swain.
Yeah, so firstly, I'll direct you to the article that we did. When did that go out, Dan? A couple of days ago? Yesterday morning? Yeah, I'm completely lost. Go and have a read if you haven't already. It was, a bit surreal. So I've met someone who I knew previously, Hannah, who is like the... she's very important to what, how and when the kind of former players meet up and they do different events and whatnot. She does a tremendous job with them. And she, say hello, Hannah. And here's Nigel. Hello, Nigel. Nice to see you. 10 seconds later, I'm realizing,
Mr. Spink to you, John.
Being the same height, if not possibly smaller than them in Buendia, struggled to look up straight. So no, it's fantastic to see them and got on really well and travelled from Birmingham Airport to Amsterdam and then over to the stadium and kind of documented that journey. For them, it was the first time that they've been back to the Keep, so that was obviously even better. I think they've done a video on Villa TV, which I haven't looked at yet, but I will do, and I'm sure that'll be great. I just wanted to document what they were thinking before the game, 43 years ago, the journey that they took over there. And so lots of different bits were said. Some things obviously I haven't put in the article, but fantastic to see them. I saw them earlier as well, back on the flight. I even got a hug from them. So it's
nice. Progressed my handshake.
Yeah, happy days. Yeah, fantastic trip in general. Just aside from that, which was obviously very memorable, but the fan zone here we go, we are in the fan zone, but the fan zone out in Rotterdam was superb, really was. Took some videos, but they gave Villa fans even kind of a corner of Rotterdam, I guess, and there was lots of bars there right on the, well, not the harbour, but not far away from where the boats were. It's really, really nice place, but fair play to them. They gave Villa fans more than enough beer, should we say.
Yeah, and your thank you for winning the European Cup 43 years ago was paying for an Uber, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was more just doing the logistics of the trip, that was it really. But that was my thanks.
Sure, much appreciated. Bardell's comment this time last week, Dan Rolinson was stinking out Tocker Social in his workman shoes. I love a pair of Docs, actually. Hopefully it doesn't stink out YouTube to the same level. Well, Bardell, you and I both know I actually finished top twice in 2 of my games, whilst you were stinking the place out in the other cubicle next door. Although we will tell everybody in the comments he was on the hardest difficulty. Oh.
Sorry. When he was stinking the place out in the cubicle next door,
the game next door. Then Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Right, John. Can you fire me a header, please, and I'll give you a fan opinion / prediction.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go with long-term answer.
Long-term answer. Okay. This is from Toby. I'm delighted for Buendia. His goals this week remind me of when Bertrand Traore came up with a couple of big moments in Emery's first season. We know he's not the long-term answer, but the moments he has provided could be crucial for us to get and keep up. Could be crucial for us and keep up momentum. stinking out the place here. I'm down from Glasgow for the game this weekend. The first game in the whole end for my daughter, predicting and hoping for a 3-1 Villa win. Buendia, starting to prove some people, I mean, I always backed him, starting to prove some people wrong, yeah?
I presume so. Consistency is the main thing with Buendia, isn't it? We've seen him have moments in a Villa shirt before. Obviously, those moments haven't, I can't remember exactly how many days. And actually, I do. 925 days, I think it was, since he last scored in the Premier League. But, really? Come on, context. Wow. He missed a whole season, didn't he, through a terrible injury, and then was obviously out on loan for the second half of last season. So really, we hadn't seen him until now, I guess, put a few games together of just playing football matches for Aston Villa, let alone impacting them and scoring goals and assists. Emery spoke today about him having his confidence back, and that's the reason why he's now getting numbers. But at the same time, okay, fantastic for him and for Villa. We just need to. Whenever I talk about Buendia, I always feel like I'm being really ultra critical and harsh. But at the same time, we're at the level now where we're trying to get back into the Champions League. We need Buendia to score double digits, right? If he's going to play for this team. And that's something I really hope you can do, because this will be a fantastic story. We've had quite a few sort of these narratives of different players showing resilience to get back in the team and, kind of play a key role, be it to get into the Premier League with, I don't know, like an Alan Hutton, and not comparing Alan Hutton and Buendia, but those sorts of stories, you can write players off and all of a sudden they come back fighting, and Buendia is a fighter, and I like that about him. I think we all love it. So, yeah. But just quickly on that, I did speak to, I was speaking to Jacob during the game, and one of the comments I made was, when I look at the team right now, I'm looking at behind Watkins, Rodgers, Sancho, Buendia, Gassama, Marlon, Harvey Elliott. That's what we've got, right?
Yeah.
And this is kind of my point, was a bit exaggerated because of how poor Rodgers has been really so far this season. But those players all have to chip in with, at least 5 to 10 Premier League goals this season, assists as well. There has to be a large amount of contributions from them all. But I don't look at one of them before the start of the season, apart from Rodgers, and say, I think he might get double digits in both, or that should be the aim. I think it'd be an extraordinary season for one of them to do that.
Yeah.
They don't all need to do it, but you see what I'm trying to say? I think they've all got something to prove to us, and part of me is like, that's great, because there's a motivation for there to kind of, again, prove people wrong and answer those critics, for want of a better term. But at the same time, I'm still a little bit worried that how are we going to see Buendia do this over the course of a season? I hope so, but because for 2 years we haven't really seen it, it's a bit speculative for me to now say, or us to say something like, oh yeah, I back Buendia to get 12 goals and make so many assists. That would be wishful thinking, but at the same time, it's not out of the realms of possibility. He just started the season well.
Yeah. Okay. There's some other bits on Rodgers, so I'll kind of hold fire on some of my comments there. Do you want to pick another one? Just a quick hello in the chat, by the way, to Stephen, Jake, Zach, Matthew, Dan Bardell, of course, still there. David, Daniel, a different Daniel. Thanks for tuning in live. We do this every week. When there's a European game away from home, it'll be Thursday night. A European game at home will probably be Friday morning. And then when there's no midweek game, we'll be doing these Thursday evenings. So quite early in terms of a preview, but we want to get in there and get the fan vibe and the fan feel across. So what's the next one, John? Where are we going?
We'll go with Tools in the Armoury.
Tools in the Armoury. From Pete. The last 3 teams we've played have played into our hands by pressing higher up the pitch. We've also used long ball more. I'm not sure we still have the tools in our armoury or confidently know how to break down a low block, which concerns me, as I expect Burnley to come to Villa Park and sit in. Why is this still an issue? Now, I said certainly after the Bologna game, that suited us in that moment. They wanted to come to us, and that allowed us to play a bit quicker, and that was good for us. And I think, again, Fulham to an extent further, and then Feyenoord as well. What are you smirking at, John?
I don't want to keep shouting him out, but I don't mean that in a bad way, but just another comment that Mr. Bardell's put up. That's all.
Leave him. We're not interested. Burnley will be a different proposition though, won't it? Because they will come in and play differently.
Yeah, not having Tielemans, for quite a large part of the start of this season has been a problem, I think, for that. I'm not going to be pretending that I know exactly the reasons why we've struggled to do that for I don't know, even last season, I think that was something we struggled with. Yeah. I don't really have the answer, to be perfectly honest with you, but
is that a personnel thing at this point that we were saying in the preview for final that Buendia would maybe be trusted to play in the game and work hard and be physical, and that's kind of what it was. Whereas now this is maybe the chance for Harvey Elliott to come in and show him kind of unlocking the door.
Yeah, but then the criticism Emery's kind of given Elliott so far is that he's not making 4 or 5 passes or connecting with his teammates. It's trying to force it, essentially, is what he's inferring, and that's not something that he'll want against Burnley. He's going to have to be slow build up and finding the right pass at the right time. So for that reason, Elliott, if he does play, will have to prove to Emery that he can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, is it concern against Burnley? I guess so. I think that would be my not only concern, but that in terms of the state of the game, I think we'd all predicted they would work like that. Burnley do have a good defensive record under Scott Parker. I know they played obviously in the Championship for almost not all of those games, but 90-something% of those matches since last season. But at the same time, that's what they're built on. That's their foundation. So it's not going to be an easy game for Villa. I don't think in the Premier League there will be an easy game this season, to be perfectly honest. What do you think?
No, probably not.
I don't know if there is a team that you look at and think, okay,
there'll be a couple of games that in the context of the season, somebody will be having a crap year and we'll play them at home, and I'll go into it thinking, this should be okay for us.
Yeah. No, I agree. Burnley will be a tricky game for the reason that the comments suggest that they will try and sit in. They'll also try and hit on the counter attack, and I mean, it's kind of flip it again, but us playing on the counter attack, it does suit us, but at the same time, I don't think we have particularly quick players. Who would you call quick in the Villa team, Dan? Matson, Watkins, I guess.
Yeah, to an extent.
But no, I don't think teams would look at us and say we can't afford to give away a counter attack against Villa. So for that reason, I think we've kind of reshaping our game, not completely, but to some extent anyway, because of the personnel in the squad.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna fire one up next. Some of these titles are better than others. I'll be honest. This one is wide men, but to be fair, it's pretty short. The best part about this one is there's a name. MC Schnitzelpants says, "Could Marlon and Matson provide the width?" I mean, come on. What better title can I give that than wide men? Matson providing the width, yeah, absolutely. And I'll do another one here actually in a second because this is more about him for me. Marlon, I don't know. He's still a bit of an unknown quantity to me. Can we rely on him to play games every single week and be the wide man? I'm not so sure. Just quickly from Sarah in Matson time. Is it time we trusted Matson as first choice left back? I feel he gives us so much energy and a threat down the left this season, whilst his defending has slightly improved. I love Luca Digne, but I think he's lost another yard or two of pace this season and makes us too predictable. Emery's teams always play better with fullbacks high up the pitch. I completely agree with that. This is Matson's season now for me.
Yeah, I think, I say it's not just been me. It's been other people as well calling for Matson to play 3 or 4 games in a row. That's something that I'm not sure will happen, though, to be perfectly honest, because
Digne will be back in for the weekend.
If I had to guess right now, well, actually, the predicted lineup that I just gave the Mirror is going to feature Matson. But now I'm thinking about it, maybe it would just be Digne. I would prefer Matson, though, because I think it's a different threat. Luca Digne can, put balls in the box all day long, but he's not going to... It's almost from a standing still position, right? It's receive the ball and put the ball in the box. And sometimes, crossing it early can be just as effective as Matson getting to the byline and pulling one back. But considering the lack of pace that we have in the team, I do think it's quite predictable sometimes how we're going to play. We're kind of waiting for that. It's not the Steven Gerrard we're waiting for that moment, but it is waiting for the chance to unlock a defence. And when Matson is on the pitch, I just feel like we are more... I just feel like we are more dangerous. But that's not take away from what everything gives us.
No. So what's a more likely situation then for this game upcoming against Burnley, that if you picture these two scenarios, Matson bombing on into space and getting to the byline and pulling one back, or Luca Digne getting to, I don't know, halfway into the half, having the whole Burnley team there, and he can kind of stop and pick his moment.
Yeah.
The latter, surely.
Yeah, I think so. I would start Matson though against Burnley.
I would, yeah, but I think it
like
could be Digne.
I like how on the left side of defence you have Matson, who obviously gives you something very different to Pau Torres, but they complement each other quite well from a possession point of view. Because if you think of the triangles that can be created there, you're thinking Migin and Pau. Matson's almost like a left winger. Your actual left winger then comes inside, and that's much more complicated to pick up from a defensive point of view. So yeah, for that reason, I just want to see Matson ever running the team. I think it's time now that we, £37.5 million for that player. He needs to be given more time, and he's not. I don't think even in the Dutch senior team, and at least at a consistent basis anyway. He scored against Spain, I think, last year or early this year for his nation, and he's got a lot of quality, and I just think we can get more out of it.
Yeah. Okay. On to the next one then. We'll come back to a kind of full predicted 11 towards the end of the show.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
It's all right, John. You can contribute if you like.
Let's go for no chance of that one.
No chance of that one. Yeah, this one works written down really. No chance as in singing. From Jim. Just a quick point. I've seen that fans have already got a song for Jaden Sancho. Seems a bit mad that players who have been here ages and some of our best players haven't really got a decent song between them. And I feel like, John, there's no chance of that one because we're not great with them, are we? Like Ezri Konsa not having a proper chant. Morgan Rogers not really having one. Ollie Watkins.
I need to give a shout out to the man who made this chant because it was created, I believe. Well, I don't know exactly when it was created, but my mates that I meet up with on these European tours before matches and whatnot, they came from Hull. I think they were on I don't know. They came down from Hull. So they went up to Hull and then came on a ferry or something over to Rotterdam. And I presume the song was made there.
That seems going completely the wrong way to me, but I'll go with it.
It's how we got to do it. And it was Sean. I don't know if Sean's second name, which is terrible. I should have noted it down. But yeah, Sean made the chant. It's a great chant. But I get the question is the question. I just think it's one of those,
it's easy to copy some, isn't it?
Yeah, like Bogart's got a chant as well, which is great. Happy days. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's not how do I put it? Where's the question? It was I totally agree. Some of our best players or players have been for a long time, don't know, and that is a bit like annoying. But at the same time, if anyone has their own individual chant, then it's okay. I don't think there has to be like a queue of Sancho. You can't chant for him yet because we don't have one for. I don't know.
Well, he's got a 12-month. He's got a 12-month expiry anyway. If you don't sort it soon, you're gonna run out of time to sort it, aren't you? So
yeah. And to be fair, I reckon some of our chants have probably been best for lone players.
Yeah. I agree with that actually. Quick comment from John Paul in the chat. It says Burnley to win 2-0. Villa can't win without Tielemans, apart from all the wins that we've had without Tielemans over the last couple of weeks now. That's fascinating. We've won games without Tielemans literally last night. And a few days before, and a few days before that. Come on. No, not yet, but we'll see. John Steele, by the way, says, I really enjoyed John's walk and talks, and I've included that because I think he's after a shout out. It's his birthday as well, so many happy returns, John. Thanks for tuning into the content. I did enjoy the walk and talk.
John, John commented. Thought you were wishing me a happy birthday.
No, it's not. Is it your birthday today, John?
No.
No. I won't be wishing you happy birthday, would I?
That's what I hope you say. Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to go. John Steele, yeah. Happy birthday, John Steele. Yep.
Merry Christmas as well, John, just in advance, right? All right, let's move on to our next talking point. Do you want to pick one out or should I go?
Go on, you can go.
Okay, this next one, oh God. This next one is taking responsibility. Bear with me, from Terry. The back four for the win against Feyenoord is our strongest and needs to be given a run of games together. It might be unpopular, but I think we get the best out of Konsa when he's paired with Pau and can take responsibility for the defence. Responsibility? Not quite. Some of these are better than others, as I said. I included this because this is something that we spoke about a bit last year of the centre-back partnership looked like a problem, didn't it? Who is the best combination? Do Konsa and Pau, is that a problem? Is it got to be Mings and Diego Carlos or whatever? What combinations work best? Whereas if Feyenoord is anything to go by, Konsa and Pau really look like they actually really suited each other. And if that's something we can have going forward, they can be a formidable pairing.
Yeah, I agree. I I just think sometimes it's kind of like flavour of the month, and
Mm.
I say it straight away. Pau Torres, I think, has been excellent
Yeah, I do.
in the
It
recent
won't be long
games.
before people are going, well, he's a bit lightweight. And
Yeah, and that Tyrone Mings didn't lose a Premier League game last season, and these things are true. But then it's kind of a bit of not revisionism, but people. I say people. I do it as well. Everyone does it. It just feels like a bit. I don't know. When something's going great, it's like, okay, well, this is it. We found it. This is a solution. And then something doesn't quite happen, and it's, well, you need forget that. Like, you have to play Tyrone Mings because he's our best box defender. Like that, those things can happen over the course of a season. So I just think for now, let's just celebrate that we have Mings, who is, I do believe our best box defender. Ezri Konsa defends in a very different way. But it's obviously been superb for us. What a servant he's been! Absolutely, one of the better players we've had in the Premier League era for me. And then obviously Pau Torres gives you something completely different, and especially without Tielemans, is crucial to how we play. And I don't think it's any kind of, or it's not a coincidence. Sorry, that now that he's had a bit of a run in the team, Torres, that we're starting to score more goals, because ultimately you need to get in the final third more. There were stages earlier in this season when just getting around the box felt like are we back for those 30 seconds? And no, we weren't, because we couldn't score a goal. But yeah, it's been an improvement. I like the back four that we played with yesterday. Matty Cash as well. I said it before, and I think most people will agree. Been very solid so far this season.
Yeah.
Clearly, across the team, there are improvements that can be made. That no one is kind of suggesting otherwise. But with different rules and whatnot, this is what we have. This is what we have at least until January. And then Emery's going to make do with certain opponents. Okay, so Tyrone Mings is injured at the moment, so Torres will play in the game against Burnley, presumably. And we'll have to devise a game plan to win accordingly. After the international break, you get some more players come back, and you have the same problems, but good problems in terms of who plays and in what style do you play. And I think that's when Emery is judged even more so, because at the moment, no one's disputing, well, who's going to play? As I said, Mings or Torres? It's going to be Torres, right? Because Mings is out. So those are decisions made easier. But then, you go back to the FA Cup semi-final, and even Old Trafford, I think everyone said that Mings should have played in both of those games. But then if we had performed better and we'd got through them, then no one would be disputing it. It's just, this is on. It's up to Emery, right? This is why he's paid. The money's been paid.
Yeah. Okay. We've probably got 6 or 7 comments left, so we might want to speed up a bit, especially if we wanted to stick to our half-an-hour limit, which I don't think we'll ever stick to. So do you want to fire me another one, John?
Well, we've got one about Pau Torres here. I don't know if you want to go through that one again. Should we go through that? Pau Torres.
Pau Torres. Harry says, what are your thoughts on Torres in the game? We've just touched on it a bit, but in the games he's played this season, I thought he looked really good. Not only his passing, but he seems more physical than in previous seasons, especially in the final game. He looked strong. It seemed like he wanted to get more stuck in. Do you think he'll get a run of Premier League games, or just stick to the European games for now, even when Mings is fit again? Because obviously he'll play at the weekend. And then obviously we'll assess it after the international break. But the physical point is probably why I've included this in the list, because we all know that he's good on the ball and all that kind of stuff. But in the game against possibly Fulham, but I can't remember, there was a moment where something happened. I don't even remember if he won the ball, but it felt like he put himself in a position of like, oh, he's actually tried to go in a bit hard on someone there. I don't feel like I've seen him do that kind of thing before. So whether that's been a conscious change in his game, or I've just noticed something that he was doing anyway. But being more physical definitely feels like a thing, and Harry agrees.
Yeah, no, I would go along with that. I think he's quite dominant in the air as well, which is not something we've really come accustomed to seeing in Torres. This little period he's had has been very similar to when he's performing so well for us in the first season that he had at the club. Obviously, last season was kind of a bit more in and out, because Mings would come in and would again be celebrating how strong Mings has been for the team and how well he's recovered from his terrible injury. And absolutely right. And for that reason, when Torres would come back in, we wouldn't really talk about it too much. But I think, again, because of how poor we've been, it's almost like everyone's got a fresh start in this squad, that we judge them on the merits of just this match, because I tell you now, if Rodgers gets an assist against Burnley and manages to kind of string his passes together better, we'd all be saying, okay, this is now the start for Rodgers again. This is where he has to build from. I think we did that with Torres a little bit a couple of weeks ago and thought, you know what, Torres has been pretty good today. Whereas a couple of seasons ago, we didn't admit, it's just, Torres has had a great game again. So for that reason, again, like it's been such a poor start, kind of leveled out a little bit now. I know we've just won 3 games in a row, but at the same time, we had to do that to get over what we've just come back from. And again, Burnley's a massive game that we need to win, because the 3 matches after that, I'm not going to talk about too much now, but Spurs, Liverpool and City, that's when those conversations about, well, does Minks have to come in for this game instead of Torres? That's when you have to talk about those. Or does Emery just stick with his guns and say, okay, well, this is what's getting us results at the moment, instead of Torres?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Do we want to switch roles here, John? Do you want to read one out?
I can read one out. Where should we go next? Do you want to tell me which one?
Go with one of the best in the world. It's quite a long one, actually. I've thrown you under the bus there.
This is long. So this is from Carlos. First time Claret and Blue interaction in any capacity. Hello, Carlos. Been a loyal audio listener for only for around 2.5 seasons and love this pod especially. Any with Dan and John. Sorry, Matt. That's a shame for Matt. If this comment gets a shout out on any show, can you shout out my good pal Andy Stevens, who also listens to every pod like me? Hello, Andy Stevens. When Kante, this is a change. So when Kante was playing at Leicester, the wider media lauded him. Kamara doesn't get that recognition like ever. I still wonder, what do we see that others don't? Are we biased, or is this Big Six favouritism playing a factor here? Why on earth isn't he considered as one of the best players in his position? The guy is world class! Exclamation mark. Keep up the great work, lads.
As well. Good presenting.
Always disappointed when I commute and there's no new content. Bloody hell, how many times do you commute? But get excited when I see 1 or 2 that I need to catch up on. Keeps me company for a couple of hours. Thank you. No, thank you very much, Carlos. What was the question? Kamara. Yeah, I would go along with that, to be honest.
Did you enjoy reading that out, John? A bit of presenting.
Yeah, I think that when we talk about Kamara, I think it's that simple thing of, first when he first joined, I think I was talking about that with different people and saying, oh, Kamara is so underrated. But now I almost don't talk about it, and it sounds so silly because everyone knows it, but it's kind of like, well, he's our thing. Like, just leave him alone. He's doing his thing there, and we all know it, but no one else needs to know. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. So I think Kamara's aware that he's a top player. He's been paid
mad, really, because
he's got his new
all
contract.
The scouts of other clubs will also be aware of who he is. So it's not going to make any difference whether we shout about him or not.
It's one of those things that when a player first joins, you're kind of like, oh, look at this. Like, look what we have. He's so good. Yeah. And Kamara was exactly that. Even in pre-season, we could all tell, like, oh, this guy's got a bit.
Yeah.
And then now I just feel a bit like, well, Kamara is, he is world class. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And people will say, oh, world class needs to be top 5 in your position. Well, I would argue that Kamara could play for any team, or he could play in any squad in the world. That's my opinion. I think a lot of people will probably agree with that. I'm not saying they would start, but you see the depth of some squads these days. You could put him in Real Madrid. You could put Barcelona or Arsenal, Man City. You could play any squad he could get into. Absolutely for me. But we're the lucky ones who have got him. So cheers for that, Stevie G.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's switch roles again now then. Do you want me to read the rest of them? There's still about 6 left, but some of them are quite quick.
Yeah, go on, go for it.
Okay. The next one. I said some of these were better than others. This one is, do I not like that? From Peter. With Onana now being called up to the Belgium squad, will John now admit he has no interest in playing for his club and the 50 million profile needs to be moved on in January? Villa pays, I replied there saying, bit harsh. He said, Villa pay his wages. If he's not fit to be involved for his employer, then he's certainly not fit to play for his country. He's a waste of space. Look at McGinn and Mings playing through the pain barrier. You'll never get that from Onana. Now, Peter does not like Amadou Onana, and I do not really like that comment. Is where the title for that
Peter didn't make the title, by the way. These titles are all Dan's. Just saying.
Yeah, but Amadou, no, I not like that. I don't like that comment. I think it's too harsh the other way. Are we going to sell Onana in January? I mean, yeah, maybe we will, and I'll look daft. But this idea that he's fit for Belgium, is he? Well, he's tossing it off for Villa. Well, maybe he's fit for Burnley and he'll play.
Well,
We don't know, do
yeah,
we?
the manager for Belgium, Rudy Garcia, says that he trained today. By the way, so Emery did a press conference earlier after the European games. It's only broadcast to go in, and they did ask him for a team news update. And Martinez, just quickly, so Martinez had a scan before the press conference happened, and tomorrow they'll know if he's going to play against who we play, Burnley. But I did a piece 10 minutes after the full-time whistle went, simply saying, this isn't what I was asked, but just quickly, not having Emi Martinez fit for Aston Villa is no longer a major problem. It just isn't. If Bizot's playing, it's okay. There's not one part of me is now dreading. No, there's nothing against Robin Olsen exactly because he still played his role. But sorry, I'm going off a tangent here, but do you know what I'm trying to say? This is no slight on Olsen necessarily. It's just that Bizot is an upgrade on him, and that we have a number one there for me. That just so happens to be a deputy to Martinez. Anyway, Onana. I'll try and keep it short and sweet. No, he's not a waste. He takes up a lot of space on the pitch.
I knew you were going to say that.
If we use him correctly, and again in a previous video, I just think the way that we're using him at the moment isn't quite right. Anyway, no, of course he wants to play for Villa. He's been injured. We know he's got a poor injury record, and that's a major problem. But the Belgian manager says he's trying today and that he thinks he'll be in the squad to play against Burnley. So, barring any issues, he'll play for Belgium, get a few minutes. You kind of look at it one way. He shouldn't be going to Belgium national duty if he can't be fit for Villa. But at the same time, if he was to get minutes under his belt for Belgium, well, then okay. So, for the match against Tottenham, he might have 60 to 90 minutes, I don't know, under his belt. And that's better than 0. So, I don't think it's a bad thing. It'll be a bad thing if he gets injured again. Obviously.
Zach in the live chat says, are they still checking live chat or only the mailbag? They're only counting the questions left in the mailbag. What about us? Yeah, just the mailbag, mate. No, I'm joking. I saw your Rogers comment before. I mean, I know there's some Rogers stuff coming up. The mailbag is obviously curated. We've picked the things that we wanted to talk about, but we will kind of chip in with the live chat where we can, which at the moment is just full of people saying Marco Bizot. So that's good. The next one, John, is titled It Can. And this is from Nick. I know Rodgers has just gotten called up again for England, but would it be worth giving him the Burnley game off to clear his head? This is an opponent that Villa should be able to take care of without him, and any gains he seemingly made against Fulham evaporated against Feyenoord. Anytime he passes the ball, it seems there's a 50% chance it goes directly to the other team. It simply can't go on like this, can it? It can. Yeah, a few Rodgers bits and pieces. It's the same conversation we've had every week. It seems that we are waiting for him to play himself into form, and a couple of good touches, a couple of little bits of dribbling or whatever, but his passing still not good against Feyenoord at all. And you're just waiting for that spark to come. And I see merits to both sides. Take him out the firing line for a bit, show him that he's not kind of always going to play every single minute, but also play him and he might score, and that will solve the problem as well.
But the way we judge Rodgers is also how the opposition judge Rodgers in terms of this should be Villa's one-off or the key man in the attack and plays such an important role in terms of our in the system that we play in our structure. So already that's a good thing if he plays, because teams will attend to him. They will probably double up. He said at the start of the season that he's struggled with that a little bit. I don't think that's really the issue right now, him being doubled up and that he can't break free. There was moments in the keep trying to say AZ Alkmaar Feyenoord match where he would get into the final third and he would break the lines, but as you say, that the final ball's just been terrible, and I genuinely can't put my finger on it. There's a couple of moments in the second half where we'd slip Watkins through, and that was more like it. But you know, that's a very low kind of bar.
Absolutely.
To play the ball through to your teammate, it's just sometimes he does the hard bit, but then we'll just let himself down, and it's so frustrating. And it's obviously frustrating for him as well. I saw a few moments where he'd kind of bang his head and I think even he's probably thinking like, what's gone wrong? But at the same time, and I always say this about Rodgers, he's looking for the ball. He wants to be played. He is not shirking responsibility. Like, he'll keep demanding to take it. And again, we've seen so many players hide wearing a Villa shirt down the years. Rodgers is not one of those players. So for that reason, I think he'll be fine, genuinely. But as every game passes, it's just another one where you have to criticise him, unfortunately, more so than praise him. But I would still play him against Burnley. Reason being that Emery, as the manager, and he sees these players in training or whatnot, he clearly sees that Harvey Elliott isn't doing something that he wants him to do. And for that reason, Rodgers, I would still start, and Buendia for me has to start because of the form he's in. Gassama on the right, I think, is slowly getting into the groove a bit more. We'll have some quotes from him at 10:30 tonight, which aren't anything spectacular, but nice to hear off him on Thursday night. But a player who is, I can't really. He's getting into the groove and he's happy working in there and he's enjoying it. But for that reason, Elliott would then come on and Marlon would maybe come on in the second half. But I just think Rodgers, he takes players of the opposition. He is the focus that allows Buendia to be a bit more of a free spirit. It allows Gassama to have more one-on-ones. It allows Matson, if he plays, or Digne to maybe have a bit more space on the left wing. So, I think sometimes it can be too easy to look at Rodgers as misplacing passes. Don't get me wrong, it's not good enough. But at the same time, he's more than just, player picks up ball and gives it away. It's much more to the game than that, especially for Villa.
Yeah. Okay. A few more left then. Do you want to pick the next one, please?
Yeah. Sorry when I'm rambling on, by the way.
That's the podcast, mate. We're all used to it by now.
Oh, much better than short and sweet.
Short and sweet. This one's from Herbie. Gassama to score a 30-yard rocket. It's coming, guys. That's it. We're not going to spend 5 minutes chatting about that. I hope so, and I hope it's this weekend.
Yeah.
Next one.
Is that going to happen? We didn't ask Gassama about this before. If Herbie, if he put his comment in previously, we could have read that out to Gassama himself.
What would he have said to that? Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Next one is Hells on L's. Hell says, Emery has said he's playing Rodgers out of his poor spell. Should Elliott, okay,
what a header that is, by the way,
be given the same opportunity? How can he improve with very little game time? Again, we've just kind of touched on this. I think it's one that for now we'll still see these fleeting periods, and then maybe I don't know, the first game of December, Elliott gets a run of 2 or 3 in a row starting, and we go, he's class, this lad.
Yeah, again, Tielemans a couple of seasons ago, same situation. He looked lost. He looked like similar to Rodgers, giving the ball away, tracking back. He looked out of position. He wasn't comfortable, and suddenly like that, it was like a switch. So hopefully with Elliott that can happen as well. And I don't doubt it as well. The guy's a quality player, and when he has played, he hasn't been poor. I think he's been like pretty decent. But clearly Emery is seeing something that he doesn't quite like in the system. So
yeah, okay. Next one's called Hit 'em Hard, and I'm going to use this as a way of our predicted 11 because we've kind of spoken about this. But Keith from Kidderminster is pretty much the only reason he's got included. Burnley are looking dangerous, but also vulnerable. I think if Villa play low and slow, it'll play right into Burnley's hands. Hit 'em hard and fast, and they won't be able to handle it. So, should we put together an 11 that we think? Well, how do you want to do this season? What we think will happen, or what we'd like to see? Because that's probably 2 different things.
Let's do what we'd like to see.
What we'd like to see. Okay. Villa on tour in the comment, by the way. Evening, chaps. 2-0 Villa again on Sunday. Love your work, by the way, Max. I've sat through the 30-minute final vlog. It's very good.
I need to watch that tonight. My Wi-Fi won't work, or my network won't work in the airport for 2 hours, so shambles. That was my plan.
It's a good one of his best videos, I think. He also says, "Lovely hoodie, Daniel. Thank you, Villa on tour." We'll discuss that at the end, maybe, shall we? Keith from Kidderminster then wants to know, or doesn't want to know what 11 we're going to do, but we're going to give him it anyway. What we'd like to see. I mean, Martinez, does he come back? I think I'd like to see Bizot again, to be honest. Even if Martinez was ready, just because I think he deserves another go. I'd have Cash, Konsa, Pau, Matson. I'd have Kamara and McGinn. Unless Tielemans is suddenly fit, but I don't think so. I don't mind Gassama again because we've already established he's going to score from 30 yards. I think it probably will be Rodgers again, but I wouldn't. I would like to see Elliott start a game in number 10, and then Buendia off the left, and Watkins up front is what I'd like. That would be the 11 I'd like to pick, but I know it won't be that.
Oh, I think it will be, apart from Rodgers in your team. I think the rest of it, I don't say picks itself, because I think Matson and Digne is a bit of a flip of a coin, really. The goalkeeper, again, if Martinez is fit, Martinez will play. I don't think Martinez will be on the bench.
Are you bought into any of the conspiracy theories that he's not available for Europa League and then all of a sudden available for the Premier League?
What would be the conspiracy theory though?
Like, it's another international break and he's not available, but he'll play for Argentina, I'm sure. And he's dropped out of 2 Europa League games, but can play in the Premier League games either side of it. That's a bit annoying. Is his heart not in it, etc., etc.?
I can't comment on that. It's not, and that's not me trying to like protect anything. By the way, it's just I don't know. Maybe so, but what I would say is that in the warm up, and this was a bit weird. He's got nothing to do with his calf or anything. But sorry, not suggesting he's not injured. I'm just saying in this moment, we was waiting. There's like this. It's like basically been like in a concert before the start of the game at the Kuip, and I'm watching Martinez for at least 20 seconds, just literally standing there in front of the goal, and the goalkeeper coach is Javi Garcia, I think.
So.
He's standing there, just looking at him as well, and I'm like, "What's going on?" It's like a Mexican standoff. What's going on? And then like nudge Jacob and said, "What are they doing? Like, what's going on?" And at least for another minute, they were just continuing. Martinez was just standing there. It was really odd. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if he was like stretching and you couldn't see it, like moving his
like
ankle.
tensing his
I don't
muscle or
know.
something. Yeah.
Possibly so, but yeah, I have no idea. I saw some conspiracies about maybe it's so he can get a move to somewhere else in January and he'll be able to play in Europe, but he can do that anyway because obviously we've done that. Other teams have done that. So
yeah, I think you re-register your squad, don't you, after the league phase?
Well, as we know, you make 3 editions, can't you?
Yeah, so all this, I've seen a lot of people suggesting he doesn't want to be cup tied and wants to play Champions League for, so say Man United then. Somebody, but he could do that. He could do that anyway. You can't be cup tied in Europe because you can change your squad in the new year. So forget that. Have we picked an 11 there? I think we have, haven't we?
Yeah, the only difference is that I would start Rodgers.
You would? Is that you'd want to see that as well, or are you expecting
it? Both. I'm happy to see Rodgers start. That's okay with me. Don't get me wrong. If by half time he's had a terrible first half and we can't see that he's actually impacting the game in any sort of way, be it dragging markers or creating space for others, then I'm happy to take him off. But I just think Burnley will have to put a plan together to stop Rodgers because although he's been poor, who's going to be the first manager? Who's going to be the first manager to say leave Rodgers isolated? Because the odds are he'll probably just give us the ball anyway. No one's going to do that. I know we have fans will have a joke and whatever, kind of tongue in cheek. But ultimately, if you're going to give Rodgers space, you are still asking for trouble. I just think the issue has been for him that it's just been a lack of quality. But at the same time, he's only had, I don't know, maybe how many times can you picture Morgan Rodgers like in the box or just outside in a really promising position? Maybe a few times. I remember the Brentford game when he turned and went, and then he had a shot saved by the keeper. But if you let him do that 3 or 4 times, we're going to score. So. Yeah, I would still start him.
Okay, all right. Final point then from the mailbag. This one is 990 minutes from Anthony, who says, we are now 9 games in and I have not seen 90 minutes of us playing anywhere near what I believe this squad is capable of delivering. I know people will say it's how you finish, not how you start, but do you both think the progression at this point has been enough to bring the results in May that we all hope for? No, not yet. I don't think we've seen enough yet to suggest that, no, we will finish top 6. Like, don't worry about it. Or, yes, we're definitely going to win the Europa League because we beat Fulham and we beat Feyenoord. If we're still showing these signs that this is now the proper Villa and that this isn't the blip and we are actually crap, and we get to December and we get to, maybe we get to Christmas when it all gets a bit hectic. If Villa are 6th, and they were there, the top 2 in the Europa League or whatever it might be, then I'll have seen enough to say, okay, well, this season can still pan out nicely. A couple of editions in January maybe, and we go again. Right now, I agree. We haven't seen enough to make me go, we're definitely going to go and do this.
Yeah, it's one of the first things I said in my walk back from the stadium. But at the same time, I was coming back on the plane earlier. I had my little notebook out and I was writing some thoughts down. How sad. And
I've got a notebook as well in front of me now.
It's great. Useful, and then one of the comments I wrote down was essentially, firstly, I need to look, if we were to beat Burnley, like where would we be in previous seasons? How many points would we have had after 7 games or something? Like, is it going to be that different? Anyway, but it was obviously a difficult summer. But then other teams as well. if we were to beat Burnley, I haven't looked at the table exactly, but we could be above Chelsea. We'd probably be above Newcastle and Forest and all
We'd
the
be
other
on 9
teams.
points. Chelsea on 8 at the moment.
Yeah, that last season were the competition for Champions League, right? So Chelsea, Newcastle, Forest. Was that it? Yeah. Other teams will come again. You know, Spurs have made a decent start, but at the same time, we're 2-0 down at Bodo Glimt and nearly lost to Wolves and did lose a game before that, I think. So it's going to ebb and flow. But for us, I keep looking at the fixtures we've got coming up, and they're going to be difficult. But at the same time, if we can get results, you don't get results in the Europa League or in the Premier League without improving. You don't. If we regress against Burnley, or Burnley's maybe not a brilliant example because but they're still a Premier League team. If we play worse than what we did against Fulham against Burnley, there's a fair chance that we don't win the game. Like you don't just turn up in the Premier League and win a match. I asked Van Persie about Villa's form in the press conference, and his answer was really interesting. The kind of like mannerisms he was giving. It was like it's so hard to win Premier League games. Like everything is just a long battle. Like every inch of the pitch is won. You have to own every yard, every minute of the Premier League in those matches. So for that reason, and I know one team has to win or it's a draw. It's not as if it's but we've done well just to win 3 games in a row, considering how poor we were before that, and the reasons why we were poor. I'll say anyway. Gassama mentioned to us in the mix zone about how
exclusive.
It's not. We I can't remember myself. I'm so tired. New players have come in, and it's been a bit of change. It's pretty standard stuff. Just read the quotes later. I've lost my train of thought, mate.
Let me give you a break. I've just had a quick look at the Premier League tab while you were talking, comparing game week 7 this week to game week 7 of last season. So if Villa were to win at the weekend this year, we'd go to 9 points, which, as of right now, would put us 8th at best, right? Because Fulham are on 9 points at the moment.
Yeah.
After 7 games last season, Villa were 5th with 14 points. So we'd be 5 points worse off after the same amount of games, which again, it's not a massive amount. The difference in the context is, oh no, I'm wrong. I was about to make a point, but I'm looking at the wrong figures.
One of the points now, John, we're stumbling over the line here, guys.
No, what I was about to say was, but the difference this year is that Tottenham are 5th on 11. But if they were to win game week 7, 5th could also still be 14. I was going to be like, the league's not as good this year, but that's because I'm a game behind.
It's more for me that we should be improving from here. So it's not as if we're going to be this poor or previously. We weren't going to stay at that level throughout the whole season, although some people were worrying. It was like, well, we're going to go down, that sort of thing. I think we are improving now, and the results, that's the proof for me. So if we are to beat Burnley, okay, so we've improved again. We're showing, that consistency, and that's okay for me. I just think at the moment, just get results. Last season, John Duran, we can't forget about it, bailed us out. So we talk about last season, we were in wherever you just said there, Dan. Okay, but if Duran doesn't score against West Ham, if he doesn't come off the bench to score against Leicester, if we don't come back from 2 goals behind against Everton because of Duran's wonder goal, and if the Wolves match that he made an impact in as well, we go 3-1. A lot happened last season at the start of the season that I think, I don't want to say we got lucky, but at the same time, like you earn your luck, but at the same time, it wasn't convincing stuff. It's been anything but convincing now as well. But at the same time, like it's not the start that other teams have made, especially if we were to beat Burnley. I just think again the proof will be in the pudding, like later on in the season. For now, win your games that you can, and we'll see it where it takes us around Christmas time and then onwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's have a prediction then for the weekend to wrap up this new preview show. Anything other than a Villa win? Surely we're both going to predict Villa to get 3 points.
Yeah, I'm going to say 1-0 Villa.
1-0. Another clean sheet. It'll be lovely. I'm going to go 2-1. I think they will score. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but one of their players has got something like 5 goals or 5 goal contributions in the last 6 games or something. So I think they will. Yeah.
Jaden Sancho.
Yes, I was going to say Anthony Taylor, but that's the referee. Yeah, I expect they might get something, but hopefully our quality will prevail. So 2-1 Villa for me, another win, 4 in a row, back to back in the Premier League as well would be. What a change of events that would be. What's that then? 7 unbeaten across 90 minutes if we get rid of the penalty shootout from Brentford.
Yeah.
Has it been a good start, John?
Yeah. Do you know what I've just realised?
Go on.
I look over my shoulder, well, a bit over my shoulder. The That's Hercules up there. I forgot to take him to
Did
Rotterdam.
you? So it's all complete guff then?
As soon as soon as you said that, I thought Hercules, and then I've just remembered didn't take him. So
complete
it was all a
rubbish
lie.
then. Yeah.
It's I forgot to take him.
So literally means absolutely nothing. Yeah. Oh well, let's just pretend he was there, right, for the memories, if nothing else. A shambles. Right, that'll do. That'll do for this episode of the Fan Zone. Hopefully, people have enjoyed it. We said we wanted these to be
in the comments, are you taking your mascot? Oh yeah. I wouldn't lie about it, but I couldn't even if I wanted to because he's hanging out with the mug. Can't believe that.
You could have said I got back and I put him back in his rightful place, but he's been there since Tuesday gathering dust. Unbelievable. Right, that's it for the Fan Zone. We said we wanted these to be about half an hour because our previews used to be, but because they're coming out earlier and there's more to talk about, they're always going to be longer. So hopefully people enjoy it. If you are sitting through this thinking...
Split it up in half or something if you want. Go on your dog walk and then come back and go to the shops.
Yeah. I thought you meant us to do 2 episodes.
Oh.
Steady on,
no.
If you are sitting through this thinking, a bit long, lads, then we can... The only way to do quicker episodes is less comments, but...
we don't want to do that. No, this is on us. No, this is mainly me. I waffle. And then, for the European game, I think this is a bit smoother when we do... when it hasn't been a European match because it means we can... I don't know how to explain it, but it's a bit of a...
Yeah, because we won't be talking about what happened last night because we'll have already spoken. The game would have been 4 or 5 days ago, won't it? So, yeah, the one for Spurs will probably be completely different. It'll be coming out of an international break.
It'll be a smoother show as we go, hopefully.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. We said this in the Q&A at the start of the week. How do we feel about the episodes that we're doing? And I feel much better about this than last week's than some of the previews we did this season and last week come out of it. And you go, right, on to the next job now. After this, I'm going to go downstairs and chill out. And it's like, yeah, just do it. And I think it's a better episode. So, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, John, thanks for joining me. Quick shout out to the Founders hoodies, by the way. I'm not supposed to kind of advertise or anything, but if you want to get one, you know where to go. I only mentioned it because Max was in the comments before saying it looked nice. So I don't want to leave it hanging. And also, because this is work and I don't want it to kind of cross over, I don't want to kind of come across ignorant that we've had one of our best days for sales today. And I don't want to be like, I never mention it. Like, I'm very grateful and very thankful because there'll be plenty of people listening to this that have bought some of our stuff. So if you wonder, like, oh, how come you never mention it? It's work and it's a bit difficult, and I probably shouldn't even be doing this, but here I am. So if you want to get one, go to social media, foundersdesign.co.uk, and get a hoodie or a t-shirt. Some new stuff coming soon. John, thanks for joining me. We'll catch up again on Monday for another Q&A special, out and about on location somewhere or in the office potentially. Thanks to everyone who watched along live and got involved in the live chat and submitting questions and comments to the mailbag. You are the kind of lifeblood of this show, so thanks for getting involved.
Put the link somewhere down. Oh, it says there, doesn't it, in the description?
I'll tell you what, John, I can do better than that. I can do a QR code on screen. So if you want to get involved, it's the same link every single time. If you want to send questions for the Q&A or comments and opinions for the Fan Zone, it all goes to the same place, and I collate them all for each episode that we need them. There's also a link in the description on the podcast feed and on YouTube as well, and on social media. So if you want to get involved, you absolutely can. We'll be back on Sunday evening, Sunday tea time for the post-match show for Burnley. That'll be me and Kendrick. So thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Aston Villa Fan Zone, and we'll see you again in a couple of nights. Bye-bye.